Hello, everybody. So, thank you. If you do not know who I am, my name is Ari Gonzalez. I'm an artist manager, I'm a junior talent agent, and I work at the music department at a company called We the Future here in Orlando. And this is my music industry new podcast, Run It Back. And as per usual, each of these episodes, we start this off with new music. So, let's get straight into it. The first artist we have is Kelsey Olivia with a song called Lose Myself. This is a soft pop single, structured well for engagement was one of the biggest things that I had about this. There's a catchy hook in it, and I can definitely see some cool visuals. You're doing great with streaming. When I took a little deep dive into your social media and stuff, you don't have a large following. So those things aren't matching up, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But what this is telling me is if you put more marketing into your social media, you'd be able to grow even farther than what you have been able to. I'm assuming through different things like playlisting. So yeah, the next song that we have is called Not Too Fast by Maisie. I really enjoyed the hook of this. It's like an R&B with like some hyper pop influences, some electronic and like house influences. Very chill. I can definitely see some people like riding down the highway to this. And I would say keep up the good work with your social media and branding. Made sure to take a look at everything, and you're doing well on consistently and like curating a brand for yourself. So keep up the good work. Next, we have J1 with a song called Don't Stop. This is a very fun, like it was giving song of the summer with some Afrobeat vibes, very engaging melodies. And one thing that came to mind with this song is that it would be great for like vacation content, especially vacation content like with couples and things like that. So I would say if you have some friends or if you and somebody are going on a trip, definitely utilize that for some marketing, or if however you can get that out in that way, I think that would be a good move. The next song that we have is called Now That I Left by Kalila Shields. I loved this song. I have to make sure that I added it to the playlist, which if you don't know, last episode I kind of culminated all my favorite submissions into a playlist, and now I'm just going to continue updating that after every episode. But yeah, with this song was a very fun sound, but there were some contrasting lyrics in it, but the message of it was great. I loved it. Very empowering message, like I would say like an anthem kind of for women, and I would use that as like a marketing ploy. Just see who you could get to tell their stories with this song, because it's very relatable. And you did great with the vocals and the harmonies. I loved it. One of my favorite songs of this week for sure. Next, we have a song called Aphrodite by 2-4. I enjoyed the intro. It was engaging, but it still left room for like a build-up, which came with the drop. That was great. This is a hip-hop R&B track. You have a good use of space with this song. I really enjoyed the hook. It was easy to remember. And I would say to like add just some different variety, whether that be with elements or your melodies throughout the song, just to make it a little bit more engaging, but overall put together very nicely. The next song that we have is called Grande by Haywire. I enjoyed the production, and also the addition of the femme vocals like made this song absolutely. The breakdown was great. I can definitely see some fun content with this. I could also hear this like in a Latin club mix. And the like social media that you have linked to your DSPs does not work. So make sure that you're updating those links and just always double checking for that, because the idea is there, execution is not. So the next song that we have is called Something's Gotta Give by Kangaroo Court. I loved this song. It was giving indie rock, starts strong immediately, and it's engaging throughout the entire thing out. I love the breakdown with the lyrics come in right in the beginning. And the vocal effects, you did them, it was the perfect amount to where it added this like the stylistic element that you guys wanted, but I could still hear you completely clear. So just hats off to you on that. And just generally, it was a structurally great song. Like I said before, it remains engaging throughout. So overall, great job. The next song that we have is called Get This by Fortune the Wolf featuring King Tut. This is a melodic hip hop song, very fun. This is made by some older dudes, and they just brought like the energy. They brought the vibe. I appreciated it. It's engaging due to the structure of the song. With that video, it was fun, but like there are just some quality things that could be better. So I would just say always strive to do more. But I had a lot of fun watching the video, and I could tell you guys had fun making it. You guys had fun making the song, which it's all about. You guys need an Instagram, like 100%. You guys need a website. I see that you guys had your Facebook tagged into like the description of the music video, but like just up the ante so that more people can engage with you. The next song that we have is called The Bell Tolls for You by JD Wesley. This is another music video. And just a heads up, for all the stuff that is like mentioned, I always have the links to everything in my bio on Instagram or in the description if you're on YouTube. So if you want to hear any of this music, go find the links. If you want to like read more about any of the stories I talk about coming up, make sure you check that out. But yeah, this song, The Bell Tolls for You, the visual was great. The singer has a phenomenal voice, and just everything about it was engaging when it came to the vocals, the production, as well as the visuals like put together. There were a few timing issues that personally, like there were some pockets that were missed by like a millisecond, but it didn't make the song like any worse. It just could have been, I think, a little bit more coherent. But yeah, just put the social links for everyone who's involved in this in your description. Make sure you give people a way to engage just past the music video. But overall, it was great. Just some things that need to be tweaked. The next song is called Look to the Sky, and this is also the last song, and this is by Super Philly. Very theatrical song. It was giving me like Queen, but also some ABBA vibes. I had a lot of fun for it, just listening to it. And the two things that I would say is that you need some better cover art. Like the song is great. The quality of the song is great and it does not match the cover art. So I would just say like get a graphic designer and build what could be best for your upcoming stuff. This is a very well orchestrated song, but it appeals to a very niche audience, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Just make sure that you're marketing to that audience. So we're moving on. This is a pretty short episode, you guys. So we'll probably only be here for another 20 minutes or so. We have the My Likes section. So the first thing on here is Kate Bush has reportedly generated an estimated $2.3 million in streaming revenue with her song Running Up That Hill, thanks to the use in Stranger Things 4. This has been something that has been talked about pretty often. Kate Bush in this song is kind of the example for like sync in what these opportunities can do for folks. That song has been rising over the years just because of an interest in her overall and different trends having to do with her. But this like smashed everything out of the box. And I just think it's good for her. Like good for her state. And it is a great example of why sync is so important throughout the lifetime of your song, period. All right. The next story that we have is an interview with J.R. Clark, and I just took one question and answer from this, but this is a pretty long article that you can read this interview straight, like word for word. But what I wanted to kind of point out in it is the interviewer asked what J.R. Clark's advice is for up-and-coming artists, and his response was, if the music business is what you want to do, you need to study what you're getting into. Second, you need to have some income to fund what you do, your job, an investor, both, whatever. Third, understand what type of artist you want to be, your image, style, and voice. And I just think that this is such a concise, good answer because all of them are absolutely true. And the thing, like the crux of it for me is always going to be education, right? And I think that this encompasses this very well. And if you want to read more, definitely make sure that you find that link in my bio on Instagram or in the description on YouTube. The next and final story in the My Like section, Tulsa-based not-for-profit organization Tulsa Creative Engine has announced the 9 cohort participants for their Music Business Accelerator program, which is designed to teach artists entrepreneur skills business skills and help them advance their music careers. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get out. But once again, going down to education and having this be the thing that is helping propel people as artists specifically, I love that they're teaching them entrepreneur-based skills because that is very important. That is something that I work pretty closely within my own work and my work at We the Future. So it means a lot to me, and I love seeing programs like this. And if this is something that you'd be interested in, make sure that you find that link so you can see how you can get involved. The next section is industry updates. So the first story within that is perhaps Downtown Music Services' most interesting deal since the Concord copyright sale came last month, when it announced a major expansion of its operations, including multiple new hires in a Spanish-speaking Latin America. So this we've talked about for a while now, just the continued expansion of the Latin American markets and watching how different companies are reacting to that. The next story, the U.S. Copyright Royalty Board has rejected arguments from Spotify and other music streamers and will significantly increase payments to songwriters and publishers for streams between 2018 and 2020 in what is the largest increase in CRB history. Rates will rise from 10.5 to 15.1% over the 5 years. So essentially, they're taking a look at those last 5 years, adding up like those different percentages in order to actually pay people more money on royalties that have already been collected, and hopefully continue just the rise of that percentage over the next coming years. The next story, the term of the copyright for sound recordings is being extended by 20 years in New Zealand. The country's current copyright protection covers 50 years from the release date. Soon, that will be 70 years. This is interesting. Like just knowing these laws globally is important. It's not necessarily for you to know, but for your lawyer to know, but it's not bad to have the information. But I found this interesting because in America, you have that 70 years after your death. So what I'm trying to say is that copyright lasts for your lifetime plus 70 years in America, where in New Zealand, it's interesting because it's from the release date, which is, as you could tell, a lot less time. And it's actually interesting, the whole Mickey Mouse story. Companies actually have 90 years after a specific amount of time, like 80, like some lifetime-esque number. And yeah, just think that it's interesting looking at different countries and how they utilize these different intellectual property laws. So the next story, Paul Cormack has been promoted to the role of general manager at independent recording label Better Noise Music. We have Brian Washington has exited Four Strikes Management to launch his own company, Second and 26 Entertainment. The veteran executive will continue his role as managing partner of the Kevin Abstract Brockhampton and head of partnerships for Tyler the Creator's Camp Flog Gnaw Carnival alongside Four Strikes Management. The next story is Donnie Dizzy Cleanface has announced the launch of his new management and A&R company, We Good LLC, where he will serve as CEO. We Good represents acts such as DJ Snake, Shensi, and Russian. All right, we have Michael Steele joining Nashville-based Visionary Media Group as Vice President of Streaming and Digital. His new role, Steele, formerly of Kiss FM Los Angeles, Indie 103.1, and Warner Music Group, will oversee playlisting and digital strategy, working closely with DSP partners like Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube Music, and SoundCloud. All right. Spotify's former head of music business development, Karbiri, I want to say this correctly, but I don't think that I am. Dagogo Jack has been named head of music partnerships at gaming platform Roblox. And the last story in this section, Trin Tam has joined Universal Music Canada as Senior Vice President of Revenue and Digital Strategy. All right. Yeah, this is a very short episode. We only have 6 stories left, so I'm going to just get right into it. The next section is all about deals, partnerships, and acquisitions. Multi-platinum hip-hop star Logic has signed to BMG. Sony Music Publishing has renewed its worldwide publishing agreement with Taney, extending the deal, which began in 2005. Live Nation has acquired the concerts and entertainment division of Taro, based in Thailand. The company plans to develop local Thai talent with additional plans to bring international acts to the region. We have Universal Music Publishing Nashville has signed Nashville songwriter, artist, and producer Mark Skibilia to an exclusive global publishing agreement. We have the music catalog of the Universal Music Group, the world's largest record company, will be available to the users of Africa-focused streaming service Mudundo, following the signing of a licensing deal. And the last thing, when I do see them, I will put deaths at the very end of this just to kind of honor the folks who came before us. We had one this week. So veteran Atlanta DJ Atlanta radio DJ Mitch Faulkner died last week of cardiac arrest. He was 64 years old. So definitely condolences as per usual. If you want to find out more about him, you will be able to find that article and his name and do more research. But on that note, you guys, thank you for watching this week. I know it was a pretty short episode. I'm not mad at it. I'm sure the retention would be better on it. But yeah, there just wasn't a lot to get through this week. There was a lot more like drama that I was coming across rather than pure information. And I try to keep that stuff out of it. But yeah, on that note, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys all have a good rest of your day. And if you would like to have music reviewed next week, make sure that you just send me an email with your name and all the information that you would want me to have reviewing music. So on that note, I'm going to close out the YouTube and close you guys out. Thanks.